So I just got done watching the Syracuse and Duke game in Cameron Indoor. Coming from a Syracuse fan, I can say I was frustrated, angry, upset, sad, furious. I don't even know what else I can say. The game ended about a half an hour ago. I just finished watching the press conference for the game. Right now I've got the Knicks on. They're down by 4 points after having a 15-point lead, so what else is new there? So basically it took me about half an hour to cool down. Okay, let's talk one second. If the game ended and Duke won and the last shot by CJ Fair didn't count, well, just say it never even happened, but they just ended up winning by the amount that they won by, 6 points, I wouldn't have been mad. Well, I mean, obviously, I would have been upset that they lost, but I would come here right now and say, hey, I mean, it was a great basketball game, which it was. I would say it was a great basketball game. We played very well. The officiating was good, questionable sometimes, and we couldn't have asked for much more from our guys, and good win for Duke. But no, I can't say that, because let me just say something right here. Jabari Parker, the small forward from Illinois that's playing for Duke, gets some of the most ridiculous calls I've ever seen. Now, one of the plays at the beginning... Well, first off, let's talk. Syracuse is down by 2 points. We have the ball with about 24 seconds to go. CJ Fair... Well, Ennis brings the ball up the court, obviously, seeing as how he's our point guard. He gives it to CJ Fair. Fair fakes, drives, shoots over Jabari Parker. A whistle is heard. Fair makes the bucket. We stand up. And one. Offensive foul. From that moment, I'm not gonna lie, I grabbed my Mountain Dew bottle, threw it at the wall, and then I just buried my face. I'm not gonna lie, I was crying. Not just because we were going to lose the game, because of how, excuse my language, how much of a shit, awful, disgusting call that was. Now, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal if they called the offensive foul. If earlier in the second half, when Jabari was on the fast break, our point guard, shooting guard, maybe even small forward, whatever you want to call him, Michael Benajay, the former Duke player, set for a pick like this. And as he was like this, Jabari went up for the shot, knocked him over, made the shot, which clearly was an offensive foul, and they completely ignored that, gave him 2 points plus a foul. So when CJ Fair does that same exact thing, it is a fucking offensive foul, and that is what I don't understand. That Benajay call, when he was called for the blocking out, that should have been an offensive foul. When Fair drove and whatever. When he shot that, I'm assuming it was over Jabari Parker. That should have been a blocking foul and one. Not the one where Benajay was called for the block. He got there in time. The announcers even calling it that. Oh, and let me also say that they were getting our bigs in foul trouble. Basically, every single time down the floor, we had it doesn't matter who was playing the center position, you were going to get a foul called on the other end. All of our guys, we had our two centers, Rakeem Christmas and Abai Musakita. Rakeem Christmas picked up 2 in the first 5 minutes of the game. So we had to play Abai Musakita, who is just coming off an injury, might I add. So he picks up 3 fouls actually, in the first fucking half. So we have to play Grant at center. You know what happens to Grant? He picks out fouls. It doesn't matter who was playing at the center position. They were going to get some foul calls. So it came to the point where Keita had 4 fouls. Christmas had 4 fouls. And Grant was at a point where he was in foul trouble too. So, basically, down the stretch, when there was about 3 minutes left, we had Emil Jefferson, I believe his name was, who was just scoring inside easily because you can't put your hands up and jump straight up, which is clearly not a foul when you do that. You can't do that because it'll be called a foul. So we couldn't even contest shots. So basically, they scored inside. We made a great run to get us within 2 points, and then when Fair made that shot, which should have been an and one, as soon as that happened, I just remembered Benajay setting for the charge. Jabari going up, makes it plus a foul. I wouldn't even been mad about that if they had called it on the same exact end for Syracuse, which they didn't. You have to play it on both sides. If you're going to call it on one end, you have to call it on the other. Obviously, Duke was playing at home, so they're going to get more calls, but still, I mean, they can review calls whenever they want, even if it's with offensive fouls. So, I don't understand. I mean, they've done it before during the Pitt game. Syracuse versus Pitt, they would review those. And also, one other thing that I'd point out was Rodney Hood was in the corner shooting a 3, and it was short. So, Jabari Parker comes back and does a putback dunk. Immediately, I was like, wow, that was a great play. Once we saw the replay, first off, he just completely goes right over C.J. Fair's back to put the ball back, which should have been an offensive foul or loose ball foul or over the back foul. Plus, Cooney was going up for the rebound, and he just pushed his elbow out and just pushed him out of the way. So, there was, I mean, Jabari Parker, man, he gets so many calls. I mean, he's a great player, yes, but he doesn't need the refs' help to win and score points. So, there you have it. There's the Syracuse